So as I take you on a tour, let me put you on to some new work. Grilling this heat, I got the word on the street. Take heed, introduce you to some brand new things. Food for the soul, till you gotta blow. Food worth forking, take it on the go. Into serving it up on the road. Tell you all about it on the special. This here's something you don't wanna miss. Hit you every week with a new dish.
Hi, everybody. How are you on this Wednesday evening? Welcome to another episode of Food Worth Forking. I am your host, Laura Williams, and welcome. And if this is your first time watching or listening, Food Worth Forking is all about food, dating, and lifestyle. So everything food and beverage. So everything that falls under that, talking to chefs, restaurateurs, dating, what it's like dating after 40. And we are going to get into that in some episodes to come, definitely. And lifestyle, what is happening in the world around us? What is going on out here in this world? So get a little business out of the way. If you have not subscribed to Food Worth Forking, what are you waiting for? What is going on? So please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends so they can share with their friends. You know, you get how this goes. Like and hit that bell, ring that bell so you will get all the notifications on new episodes and new content from the podcast and from the show. So I am going to get started this evening and get things going. So I'm really excited about tonight's show. But before I kind of really get started, I just want to talk a little bit about how Christmas time is really my favorite time of the year. It really is. The Christmas, Thanksgiving, going into Christmas and going into the new year is really one of my favorite times of the year. And in New York, it is absolutely beautiful. Right now, I think we're all trying to get into this holiday Christmas spirit. It's a little slow going, I must say, but New York is just beautiful during this time of the year. And it's a great time, of course, as we spend time with family and friends. And, you know, that's what I want to do. And I'm sure that's what a lot of us want to do. And as much as the holiday season is great and it could be joyous, it could really be challenging for some people. I also feel like, you know, sadness is a little heightened right now. And that could also be just, you know, part of COVID. But a lot of people find this time of the year really, really challenging. And it's also a time for transition. So we find that, you know, you hear about a lot of loss and change. I feel like a lot of change and loss of loved ones happen at least more. And maybe at least we hear about it more and you feel it more, I think, during this time of the year. So I really want to take a moment to remind you and to remind myself to be thankful. To be thankful for what you have, thankful for those and appreciative of those in our lives, and those that love us, that love you, that show you love, those who hold us down. And sometimes we may take this for granted a little bit, that they're there because we think they'll always be there, and that those people are strong, and those people, you know, because they just move and keep going and they keep the rest of us in line, that they're okay. But definitely check in on those gatekeepers and linchpins who are keeping us and holding us down. But let's stop also and say thank you. Say thank you to them and say, I love you and that I appreciate you. And then take a moment for those who you know have lost someone, who's lost a loved one, someone who may be sick or not feeling well and just really having some challenges, be it depression or someone that you just haven't spoken to in a while. And you've been saying, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to call that person. Or you think of someone like, oh, I'm gonna call them this weekend, or I'm gonna call them tomorrow. And it kind of goes into another day, another week, maybe 2 weeks. Just stop what you're doing. Especially when those thoughts come, stop what you're doing, text, call, email, but take a moment to pick up the phone and send that text and let those people know that let that someone know that you care about them, you're thinking of them, ask them how they're doing, maybe what you can do for them, and pray for them, send them love, share you with someone. Yeah, share you with someone. And sometimes it's definitely not about, maybe you venting or talking, but allowing that person to have the space to just talk and to create memories. I think one great thing about this time of the year is creating memories. I don't think we think about it. At least I don't. I don't think about it as much as I used to. And because we're just going and there's so much going on. But this time it's just so important to create memories. With our friends, with our family. And one thing that made me think of this, I was watching an interview with Iman, the model, and she was talking about her husband, David Bowie, and his memory and how he was the love of her life. And one thing that she said that just stuck with me was about memories, creating memories. So, quoting her, this is what she said: "At the end of our days, the only thing we will have, if we are lucky, is our memories." And I thought about that when she said it. I was like, oh my God, that just resonated with me, because when I think about those that either I'm far away from, or people or loved ones that I've lost in my life, the one thing that I have that I know, like, no one can take away from me, are memories. And just to think about them, and just the great times that I've had and I've shared with people. So if I can give anyone anything, I think maybe we should go into one of our goals, and it's one of my goals, going into 2022 in a few weeks. Crazy, but it's true, is to create memories and want to share you with someone else and with the people that you care about. And I have been able to do that. And I've started already, because tonight is that episode that I've been able to create a really great memory with someone that I've just met recently, who is on the other side of the world. And the person is in Rome, Italy. So we're about to get into this episode and talk about who I met. Wait, but before I do that, let me get into these comments here. Hey, hi, hey, hi everybody. How you doing? Oh, no sound on YouTube. Huh. I'm not sure why, but that kind of sucks. But I don't know why there's no sound. It's like, if you're on Facebook, can you hear me? I'm assuming you can hear me. Someone say, yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what's going on YouTube. We've been having a few issues on YouTube, but I'm not sure why I can't be heard. But hopefully after this, yes, you can. Okay, great. YouTube is crazy. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully you can hear it, and we'll be able to hear later. But we'll keep this show rocking and rolling and moving. So I'm going to tell you about this lovely woman that I met, who is on the other side of the world. She's in Rome, Italy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience and what we're doing tonight, because tonight we are cooking carbonara. It's a classic Italian dish. It's very simple in ingredients. So let me not say it's simple, because it's not simple at all to make. But girl, I was able to get it right on the first try. So I was really excited about that. But carbonara is it consists of just a few ingredients. So you have your pasta, and a lot of people make it with spaghetti. You have your it's like a fatty pork. You have it's like a cured meat. You have eggs, and like a whole egg, and then egg yolks. You have Romano cheese, and you have pepper, good pepper, like lots of pepper. And this can be challenging for folks because you can really miss the mark on this dish, making this dish, because there is definitely a technique into making it. And if you're not careful, like I said, you can totally miss the mark on it. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I got it right on the first try. So let me get into introducing you to Toni. Yeah, things are like kind of wacky this evening, you guys. Let's see here. See if this, not sure why things aren't working properly here. Well, there's that. And here we go. And there we go. YouTube is kind of giving me a little problem this evening, but that's okay. We're going to keep this show rocking and rolling. So let me tell you about this lovely lady that I met, Toni Brancatisano. I believe I said her name right, so I hope I did. We've met via social media, and she is a food stylist, caterer, writer, and TV host. Toni resides in Rome, Italy, and has joined me on this episode to teach me how to make, again, carbonara authentically as the Romans do. So that means absolutely no peas and no mushrooms, folks. Absolutely. It's a no-no. Don't do it. Don't try it, because that is not carbonara if you're adding those things. Originally raised in Australia, Toni's destiny has always been about food. Despite becoming a registered nurse, Toni followed in the footsteps of her talented mother's love for food and set sail for Italy in the pursuit of a career in the culinary arts. Now living in Rome for 23 years, Toni has excelled in her career and has gone above and beyond her expectations, ranging from hosting and appearing on several Italian and Australian TV and radio shows, to cooking for the Australian and New Zealand embassies. When she's not demonstrating her culinary skills in the real world, she is helping others learn through her blog, as an author, and as a specialized and private food stylist. Toni is also the brand ambassador for the Italian brand Mommy. So this is going to be a great episode. Because there's a time difference, we had to film this ahead of time. So you get to watch and sit back, ask your questions. Hopefully, I'm hoping that YouTube kind of gets it together real quick. So I believe she might be on tonight in the comments, and she'll be able to answer any questions you have, possibly, if everything kind of gets going here. So I also want to show you a picture. This is what carbonara looks like. This is how it's supposed to look. And I'm going to get started and share with you all what we were able to accomplish. So I'm really excited here. Hold on, and we're about to get this show going and on the road. Hold on one moment. One moment. See if this works here. Hi, everybody. Now I do have to ask, can you all, because I don't want to keep going. I know this is awful, but I need to make sure you all can see and hear. So when I played the video, could you see and hear it? I hope you can. I hope you could. You can hear me, but can you see the video? I can see. Okay, great. So I'm going to try this one more time. do, 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 do. Hi, everybody. Listen, here we are. Happy Wednesday. I'm here with another episode of Food Worth Forking, and today I have the pleasure of cooking with, listen, wait, before I even say that, we're connecting from New York City all the way to Italy tonight. So I'm really excited, and I've had the pleasure of meeting this lovely woman who has agreed to be a guest on the podcast tonight, and I think you're going to enjoy her. I have had a great time getting to know her and our conversations. And so we are going to make tonight, I think, like a dish that's very popular or known in America and in Italy. And we're going to talk about it. And tonight we have the pleasure of having Toni Brancatisano. Did I say that right?
Brancatisano.
Brancatisano. Brancatisano. And it's right there. Did I say it right that time? So we're here tonight, and we are making carbonara.
Carbonara. See,
but we're going to work it out. And then we're going to talk to Toni tonight and just talk about this dish and what the difference is of how it may be made in America versus Italy, and what are some do's and don'ts and things you should never say about cooking techniques and things. Italian, American Italian food. Italy, Italian food, right? Hi, everybody. Listen, here we are. Happy Wednesday. I'm here with another episode of Food Worth Forking, and today I have the pleasure of cooking with, listen, wait, before I even say that, we're connecting from New York City all the way to Italy tonight. So I'm really excited, and I've had the pleasure of meeting this lovely woman who has agreed to be a guest on the podcast tonight, and I think you're going to enjoy her. I have had a great time getting to know her and our conversations. And so we are going to make tonight, I think, like a dish that's very popular or known in America and in Italy. And we're going to talk about it. And tonight we have the pleasure of having Toni Brancatisano. Did I say that right?
Brancatisano.
Brancatisano. Brancatisano. And it's right there. Did I say it right that time? So we're here tonight, and we are making carbonara.
Carbonara. See,
but we're going to work it out. And then we're going to talk to Toni tonight and just talk about this dish and what the difference is of how it may be made in America versus Italy, and what are some do's and don'ts and things you should never say about cooking techniques and things. Italian, American Italian food. Italy, Italian food, right? So. Maybe
it's like traditional.
Yeah, traditional. There it is, traditional. So we're going to get started. So tell us about you and your journey, your food journey. When did you fall in love with cooking?
Well, hi, I'm Toni. I have lived in Italy now for 23 years. I lived in Tuscany for 15 years, and the rest I'm here in Rome. I'm actually very close to the baking. Cooking, I would say came from both my parents. My father is Italian, he's from the south of Italy, and I always said you grew up in an Italian household, you're a foodie, without even realizing. My mother was actually not my nonna, my Italian grandmother. Even though they'd migrated to Australia in the 50s, she did expect all her sons to find a nice Italian girl to marry. My father was the only one who did not. She was not very impressed with this. And, you know, she probably thought, oh my God, my poor son is never going to eat properly. But, you know, my mother was an amazing cook. She was very precise. Her presentation was always on point. And sadly, I've lost my mother. But I always think, my God, she should have been born. She should have been alive now when there was Instagram and blogs, because she would have been excelling in all of that sort of social media. So, you know, it was when I lost my mother that I realized just how much her cooking and her influence had on me growing up. So even though I'd always loved cooking, after high school, I actually became a registered nurse in Australia. I moved to Rome via 3 years looking after triplets in London. And it wasn't until I had my daughter that I sort of started getting into food. More on the sweet side of things, I started doing cake decorating. It started as a hobby. It became a profession. Okay. And I went from doing small birthday cakes to 5-tier wedding cakes. From there, I went on to have a cooking show on the Italian Food Channel, doing cake decorating. And the first 3 series was with my daughter. So it was Annabella.
Wow.
A new cake each episode. It was very cute at the time. She's now 21, and she doesn't find it cute when her friends have discovered some of those old episodes on YouTube.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. That's very exciting. With all of that, we are about to get started. But before we do, I have some like fire round questions. So when in Rome,
do as the Romans do. That's easy. I'm cheating there.
Okay, YouTube or Netflix?
Oh, Netflix. I'm of a different generation, so I think that's why I'm Netflix.
No, I think that works. I think that works. Okay, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, me too. I have a cup around here somewhere. The city or countryside?
The city, always. Countryside's good for a weekend away, but then you need the city.
You need the city. I like the city. What's the most useful tool in your kitchen? What's your go-to? Like you're like, I have to have
my little electric scales.
Really?
Yeah, because I do a lot of baking. So I use that. I really, that's something, the first thing that came to mind is what I'm always reaching for. I mean, I could say my beautiful KitchenAid, but I can't even show you her because she's in the cupboard. But yeah, no, the kitchen scales. Could not do recipes without those.
Last meal on earth, where would you have it and what would it be?
God, isn't that funny? Okay, so first thing that came into my mind was sitting on a beach, surrounded by family, and maybe I love everything. I love food. There would have to be cake. There would have to be an antipasto. There would have to be the primo pasta. There would have to be a meat dish. I mean, we're going to have a bank. If it's our last meal, we're going to have a banquet. We're going to have one dish. I mean, you know, we're going from... and we'll be starting with some good aperitivis to start with. So we'll be starting with a good cocktail and ending in true Italian style with a little Amaro to help us digest. Yeah, no, everything. I can't pick one. Seriously, I'm serious. I really love food. So food, roast, but I don't know, everything.
Nice. I sound like I need to be there too on that day because that's a lot of great food that you just mentioned.
Yeah, well, that we could cook together.
Yes. So, okay. So you ready? Let's get into it. So I have my water. I don't know if you can see it, but my water is, well, you can't see it because it's over here, but my water is boiling.
Okay.
And tell me where we're going to start and what I need and what I should do.
Okay. So carbonara, you know, I know let's talk about Italian, American version of carbonara. You know, please do not put peas in your carbonara. No mushrooms, no leeks, no onion, no garlic, and absolutely no cream. So a lot of people would have just said, oh my God, but that's what I put in my carbonara. So please eliminate all that. If you want to put that in pasta dish, beautiful, just call it something else. It's not carbonara. Okay. So the ingredients are, and I'm just going to turn this down. Okay. So we have our pasta. Now, the quality of pasta you buy is really important. This is a pasta which is being trafilato in bronzo. And what does that mean? the tortillas. So when you buy pasta from small companies that have this really sort of rough, floury texture to them, that's what you want. And I know it sounds stupid, but spending a little bit more on good quality pasta is going to make the overall final dish so much better. The other really important ingredient is our guanciale. You can't get guanciale, which is the pork cheek. It's the jowl. Okay. The next choice would be a pancetta, pancia being belly. And I understand some people live in areas where you're not going to be able to get either. You can use bacon, and I'll only say you can use bacon because you have no other choice. Just add lots and lots of cracked black pepper to that if you're using bacon, and you'll replicate the flavour, because you can see the guanciale here it's been seasoned with herbs and spice like rosemary and sage and black pepper and things. So everyone's a bit different. But the thing about the guanciale that characterises it is this high fat to meat ratio. So it's characterised by this beautiful thick white fat here, and then just a thin, lean piece of meat in the middle. Whereas pancetta actually has more meat and less fat. Okay.
Yep.
So what we do is we cut the skin off, but then I leave that on. Actually, I do work with a chef sometimes, and he told me he removes all of that. But I think that's where all the good flavour is. So that's something else you might disagree with somebody. So my guanciale, my pork cheek, which I've cut into cubes, and we're going to cook it on a really low heat, Laura, because if you go straight on with a high heat, what you could do is just sort of end up burning it. We want it to be, I've already cooked some here, we want it to be golden brown. We want these bits to be lovely and crunchy. So you cook it on a low heat, and that renders out all that fat. And that fat is good fat. We don't tip that out. That's going to be tipped into our pasta, okay? That's all part of the ingredient, okay? Now, eggs. When I ask chefs how to make carbonara, actually these eggs are very white today. The difference would be some would say use whole eggs. Some say absolutely whole eggs. Some will say 1 egg and 1 yolk per person. Or, you and I were talking about eggs earlier. If the yolks are particularly small, I might throw in an extra one. It's sort of a bit of a personal choice, but, the ingredients don't change. Eggs, guanciale, pasta, and then the cheese is also really important. I have mine grated already, so I go to the market, I tell them the cheese I want, which is pecorino romano, and then I ask them to grate it for me. Okay. Because if I can take any shortcut in the kitchen, I will. And, some people put pecorino romano and a little bit of parmigiano in. Today, I'm actually just going to use pecorino romano. So what's particular about pecorino? Okay, so when you go to the market and you ask for pecorino, basically you're just asking for a sheep's milk cheese. Okay? Parmigiano Reggiano is made from cow's milk. So when you ask for pecorino romano, you're asking for a particular type of pecorino, and this has been aged for about a year. At 10 months, it becomes a hard table cheese. But traditionally, salt was hand rubbed on the cheese wheel during that period. Okay, so it is a very salty cheese. This dish is really salty between the guanciale, the pork jowl, and the salty cheese. I've seen reviews of restaurants where tourists write, "Oh, I had the carbonara, it was really salty," and I'm like, "Well, it should be. It's not actually a criticism." And that's one reason why we might go very easy on the salt we're going to add to our pasta water. Normally, you bring the pot of water to the boil, we add the salt, and off we go. I might not even add salt today because these ingredients are so salty, okay? So it's the one recipe where I might say, don't stress too much if you don't have salt in your pasta water. Or if you do, add like a quarter of what you normally would, okay? I usually throw a handful in, but normally I'd say maybe just a little tablespoon, maybe half. Depends how much water you've got in your saucepan as well. So I'm just going to show you my guanciale that's bubbling away. Oh, bubbling, sorry, that's the wrong word. Sizzling away here. Okay. So what I do is, the fat becomes translucent there. And then what I do, people probably just stir it around with a wooden spoon. What I do is, when I think it's cooking, I like to turn each piece over like this. So that wasn't really ready. I want it to be all white on that side. Starting to go golden, and then I'm gonna turn it around. So yeah, as you can see, this isn't a recipe we're rushing. We're cooking this slowly. See all that fat that's starting to come out. This is one little portion. I know that looks like a lot of guanciale for one portion, but trust me, you can never have too much of this stuff in the recipe. This is the good stuff. You know, and sometimes if I was cooking this, you know, a quantity for 3 or 4 people, there's so much fat, and you're like, oh my God, look at all that fat coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, that's the good stuff. We want that in the recipe, okay? So I just go around and turn these over and make sure they're cooking on all sides and getting all lovely and golden. Hang on, there we go. Okay, so my guanciale is sort of getting a bit golden, a bit thicker, so I'm just going to take it off the heat now. And another nice thing to do if you are using guanciale, I mean, I always say cook extra, cook lots, remove a little bit so that when you're serving the pasta, then you can sprinkle some extra crunchy bits on top.
Ooh, okay, that's good to know.
Again, you can never have too much guanciale. Never have too much of the good bacon stuff, okay? So we need 1 whole egg.
Doesn't matter how you crack the egg?
No.
Doesn't?
No. But I want a yolk. So now that's why I've got my little cup here, my glass. This is where, it's always when you're doing a video that, oh no, that worked.
Okay, so I'm putting these putting them in two different bowls.
Just to separate, so I've got in one bowl, I've got 1 whole egg and 1 beautiful big yolk. And that was just to separate that egg yolk off. Egg white, sorry. So we're removing 1 egg white.
So I only need this 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk versus 2 egg yolks.
For 1 person. How would you rate the size of your yolk? Do you think they're small eggs, big eggs?
Yeah, it's not small. It's a decent size. It's regular.
Okay, I've got normal decent size yolk, so I'm just going to go with
I see.
That, okay?
Yeah, okay, that works.
Okay. The other thing when you come to Italy, people are surprised that the carbonara has this really sort of bright yellow color or it's orange.
Yes.
It depends on the color of the yolks. It's also like if I'm making fresh pasta, sometimes the color of the pasta depends on the yolk. So sometimes I might, depending on the eggs I buy, they might be paler. Sometimes I'm shocked when I break them open. They are this bright, gorgeous orange color. When I buy my cheese, I cheat and I get the man at the market to grate it for me, okay?
Okay.
Now, even though on the recipe I have an amount of cheese for quantities, what I do is this. I'm going to start adding it to my eggs. So I've added like 3 really heaped tablespoons to start.
So I'm going to start grating my cheese.
Okay,
right?
you grate. I'm gonna start mixing. So I'm beating my eggs with the cheese. Okay.
Yep.
Now I don't want this to be. See, to me that's still running. So I'm going to keep going. So I don't know how much cheese you've got there, Laura, but I'd suggest you grate all of it.
Really?
How much have you got? How much have you got there before I say that? Sorry.
It's like, oh wow.
1 hour later, Laura.
Okay.
Okay, so I've added more. This is going to be thick. I actually want to make like a thick paste.
Oh, okay. That does that.
Mix my eggs. Okay, so see how thick that is?
Yes.
So there's nothing runny about that at all. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some beautiful extra freshly cracked black pepper. Even though at the end we're going to add some extra on the dish as well. Okay. This is ready to go. Once we've cooked our pasta, we have the guanciale, the egg, and cheese mixture.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all you need now. So So we just wait for the pasta to cook. I just drain the pasta. I'm then going to add the guanciale and all the fat that was cooked into the pasta. Stir that around. And then the most important thing to do when you're making carbonara is to then remove the saucepan from the heat before you add the egg. Because the last thing the saucepan from the heat, you don't want it cooking underneath. Okay, once your pasta's cooked and you've had the guanciale, the pork cheek, and the fat, stir that through. Okay. Remove it from the heat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the last thing you want is scrambled eggs in your pasta.
You are right about that.
And I think that everyone has had that experience at least once in a restaurant. Okay, so I've drained the pasta, and the first thing I'm going to do is add the fat and all that beautiful guanciale that we're cooked. I'm actually going to save a little bit of guanciale off the side, because we might just use that to garnish at the end. So you can see I put the saucepan back on the heat, which was cooking the pasta. Stir that around. Make sure that all the pasta's covered with all the beautiful guanciale fat. And then this part is really important. important. We're going to take it off the heat and put it on a part of the stove that's not hot. Okay, this is really important because this is where a lot of people mess up with carbonara. If you stir the egg and cheese mixture on the heat, you're going to end up with scrambled eggs. Okay, so as you can see, what I'm going to do now is just grab our cheesy mixture. Oh, one thing maybe I didn't say, when I drained the pasta, I put aside a little bit of the pasta water just in case I need it. So as you can see, my cheese and egg paste is really thick. Into the pot it goes. And this is when you have to stir really, 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 really quickly. And then the heat of the pasta, the bottom of the stove, melts all that beautiful cheese. And you end up with that magical, creamy, gorgeous carbonara sauce. Now, if you felt that maybe that was a little bit thick, you could add a little drop of some pasta water just to thin it out a little bit. I actually like a thick carbonara sauce, so I think I'm going to leave that. Okay, now we're going to plate it up. Okay. Carbonara needs to be eaten immediately once you serve it, okay? So make sure everyone's sitting at the table ready. The reason I love this pasta, this mezza manica, can you see there the little bit of guanciale that gets stuck in the middle of it? So it's a nice little surprise when you're eating it. Okay, that's a very generous serve. So now we're going to take it over to our table. We're going to add a little bit more cheese. We're going to add some freshly cracked black pepper. And let's not forget,
I want some now.
those beautiful little pieces of guanciale, which I saved, which, let's be honest, you can never have too much of. And there you have it. Carbonara.
If I taste it. Let's see. Does it matter? Or the pasta that you use? I saw a lot of recipes make it with spaghetti.
In Rome, it's better as short pasta. So rigatoni and you know, like, I don't know if you can see, but in there's a little piece of guanciale that's stuck in the middle of that tube. And that's what's the nice thing about having a tube pasta, because all those bits get stuck in the middle. You could, if you wanted, there's nothing to say you can't put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on the top at the end.
Yeah.
I usually just make it with the pecorino, and I mean, you can see how salty it is. It's like,
Yeah. I'm very happy it's done.
and you didn't end up with curdled scrambled eggs. Bravissima.
This is good. So I'm gonna do this again.
Maybe
I didn't. I still have this.
though.
And I still have this much cheese left.
But that cheese you could just eat. You cut it with pieces. You know, it's
Yeah.
such a strong salty cheese. You could have it with some grapes, or if there are any fresh figs lying around New York at the moment, or even that cheese is beautiful with some, jams or honeys drizzled on. Cheese is, I don't know how people can be vegan, because I'm not giving up my cheese.
I know cheese is hard because I love cheese. I love cheese. But I'm very excited. This turned out well. I got it together here. Had a few technical difficulties, but we made it through.
We made it through. It's been such a pleasure cooking with you.
Thank you. This has been great. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And
Thank you.
And introducing us to this traditional dish the proper way.
Way.
This is how we're going to do it. So listen, tell everyone where they can find you. How do they follow you? What's your website? Tell us, give us all.
It's actually all very easy. If you can get my surname right, you'll be fine. So Instagram, it's Toni Brancatisano, and also my blog is tonibrancatisano.com. So easy.
Nice. Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And listen, we're going to catch up soon.
Kisses.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ciao.
All right, talk to you soon.
Ciao.
All right.
Hey, I hope you all enjoyed that. I see now that maybe there may have been a technical difficulty, but I'm hoping that there wasn't, and that you got to enjoy that interview, because I hope you will take that and go and try to make carbonara, because it is so good. I'm telling you, it was so good, so good. So now that we are here, we've learned that what does not go in carbonara, like peas, mushrooms, all that other stuff, does not go. We are going to get into some other segments of the show. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments so Toni can respond to you. And we're going to keep this show rolling and moving. And we are about to get into the next segment, and it is in between the bites. So let me tell you a little bit about what's going on out here. I don't know if you know, or if you've heard of the Barefoot Contessa, right? So she is coming out with another show. She has another show that's coming. It's coming in 2022, which I'm kind of excited about, to see what she has and what this new show could be. It's called Be My Guest, and she's going to interview not just celebrities and other celebrities or well-known people in the culinary world, but she's really trying to reach out and see what's happening in the community and talk to people that are doing some really great things in the culinary world and the food and beverage world, and regarding farming, and sit down and have some conversations with them. So that's what she has coming up for 2022. So I think that is definitely something to look out for. Right. And next up, last season I talked about this young man, and I don't know if you all remember, but I'm going to remind you of who he is and who he was and what he has going on. His name is Corey Nieves, and Corey was one of the contestants on Master Chef, Gordon Ramsay's Master Chef. And he was 9th place, and I talked about him before last season, but now he was voted, or has been voted, like he's number 7 of the coolest kids in America. So Corey has a company that he started with his mom, and it's called Mr. Corey's Cookies. And he may be probably one of the youngest people to start, a cookie company. But although he's young, he's got some pragmatic advice to share on starting a business. And he says the number one and best rule to follow is to always have fun. If it's not fun, then why even do it? And he started this when I think he was 6 years old. And he not only discovered his love of baking cookies, but he unearthed a keen entrepreneurial spirit. He says, I wanted to start a business to get my mom a car, so I decided to sell hot chocolate. And that's how he got started. How cool is that? How cute is that? Although when he came to his mom with the idea, she wasn't initially convinced Mr. Corey's plan was feasible. Mom says, I didn't want to do it. Her name was Lisa Howard, who grew to cherish the time the new venture allowed her to spend with her son. The quote is, I was thinking about the money we would have to raise. As a mother, I have to be his biggest supporter and help him, of course. It wasn't long until Mr. Corey added his famous tasty cookies to the menu to rave reviews. My cookies are loving, they melt in your mouth, and they are all natural, Corey says. If you have one, you'll want more, but you won't feel guilty about it. They really brighten up your day. Today, There are a slew of homemade natural cookies on his menu, such as peanut butter, sugar, macadamia with chocolate chips, and sugar-free oatmeal raisin cookies. But it's safe to say Mr. Corey's cookies rose to the occasion, and thanks to everyone that has supported him. He has a signature tasty chocolate chip cookie, which these cookies are constantly selling out. So if you go to Mr. Corey's Cookies, you go to Corey's website, try out some of his cookies. It might be a good thing for the holiday. So I like it. And I think Corey, when he was on MasterChef Junior, I think he may have been 10. So now he's a teenager. He's still selling cookies and doing really well. So if you have the opportunity to support Corey, support him. Right? I think so. I think that's doable. Yes. And now it is time for the food lover and me, my delicious bite moment. I have to say, the thing that I discovered this week that I just fell in love with, everyone, it was a rosé champagne. I mean to tell you, I had this week, and I never tried it, but this is a rosé champagne, and I think I'm saying it's Moet. It's a Moet Nectar Imperial Rose Champagne. And I mean to tell you, it is delicious. It is so good. Oh, it is so good. I was surprised. So I will say for some, it might be on the sweet side. It's not real sweet, but I like sweet. But it wasn't so sweet to the point I was like, I don't know. But it had a nice body. It was a nice medium. It wasn't really light, like a summer light rosé. I think when people think of rosé in the summertime, they think light and crisp. But it was crisp. It had a nice body. It was a little sweet. It is absolutely delicious. Great gift for the holidays. If you don't know what to buy someone, or if you need to take a bottle to a party or a small gathering, wearing our masks, this right here, pick it up. Pick this up. You'll be glad you did. It is so good. So good. I'm telling you, so good. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, it is. So I think now we're going to get into another one of our favorite segments of the show. It is now time for Smash or Pass. And let's get into it. Let's talk about if we're going to smash or pass tonight. Yes, indeed. So here we go. First up is, okay. Can you see what it is? Can you see that? We are talking about a collard green cobbler. I don't understand it. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even know people made it. But this is a thing. So it's collard greens with your choice of meat, of course. So let's say for me, it would be smoked turkey, but collard greens and drop biscuits on top. And then you bake it. Like you make your collard greens how you normally would make collard greens. And then you put them in a casserole dish, and then you put drop biscuits on top, and you put it in the oven. I'm going to say I'm going to pass, because that just doesn't sound right to me. And it sounds like it might be wet. Like, I don't know, the biscuits and the collard greens. I say pass too. Yeah, it's a pass for me for sure. Yeah, it is a pass. I was like, I don't think so. I think so too, Sharon. Unnecessary complications. I didn't even understand. But it is a thing. And the chef that I saw make it, when I kind of did my little research, it's a popular person. I was like, what are you doing? Who does that? But okay. All right. But I think we all can say I think tonight we're going to go ahead and pass on this. we're gonna, and I think it might be a hard one, pass. Okay, and we are going to move on to the next thing. Now, this one I understood it. Still, I think I'm going to pass, but totally get it, understand. This is a vegan pumpkin chili. Vegan pumpkin chili. So you make the chili just as you normally would make chili, but instead of adding meat, you add pumpkin. Cut up pumpkin and you put the pumpkin in. I don't know, what say you? What say you out there? I don't know. I think I think I'm going to pass on it. Nancy, I agree. Negative means pass. Yeah. And Verna's passing. Yeah, no, not a thing. Not a thing at all. I was like, no, thank you. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you for it. Are you getting a little angry out there? Getting a little angry with it? Just a little bit. I understand it. I understand it because I was like, no. So, all right. So next up is, this is a drink. I think I don't know. Let's see here. Let me tell you what this one is. Let's see. And let's see here. So this is called, hold on one second. So this is called Maple Bourbon Smash Cocktail. When I saw this, I was like, oh, I have to add it to my list because it says smash. But Maple Bourbon Smash Cocktail. So we have bourbon, pure maple syrup, lemon juice, sage leaves, and slices of lemon, of course, for garnish. What are you thinking? I think this is a smash. I think this is a smash for me. I would say yes. Yes. What do we have going on? Jay, I say smash also. Definitely a smash. Yeah. Oh, I think you said there are probably raisins in that chili. Yes, I think so. Yes, please. Thank you. I agree. Yes, please. Thank you. I absolutely agree. Yes. And we have a pass. But I think the smash, I think we're winning tonight. I think we're going to win tonight. I think this is it. I think this is definitely a smash. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. I think it's a smash. So I think the smash has kind of won tonight, which is good. This is a good thing. I think so. So we say we're getting Verna some juice. I drink your. Okay, got it. Yes, indeed. So we are now going to head into our sensual food fact for the evening. Oh yeah, this was interesting. Here lately, I've been kind of discovering some interesting things here. So let's talk about it. Sensual food facts. And this is cardamom. And it is, I think it's like an herb, a spice. So cardamom, regarded as a potent spice for treating impotence. Cardamom has long been deemed a powerful aphrodisiac. It contains high concentrations of the compound 1,8-cinnamol, which increases blood flow and releases muscular tension. Its aroma is equally as stimulating it's as equally stimulating and piques the senses. You can make it, you can bake with it, put it in cookies and cake, and also like savory dishes like a baked chicken. So cardamom, very interesting. And that is food worth forking. I think so. I think so. Yes. Okay. So, listen, everybody, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And just a reminder to, if you're not following, to follow and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell and like this episode. And if you are not following me on social media, please do. IG is at Food Worth Forking. Twitter is at Food Worth Forking IN. And please listen to the podcast on all of your or any of your favorite podcasting outlets. So as usual, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have the opportunity to attempt and try to make carbonara. And if when you do, let me know. Like, hit me up, put it in the comments, tell us how you feel. If you like it, if you don't like it, but tell us you like it. You got to tell me if you like it. But that's it for me tonight, folks. So again, thank you. And until we eat again, make it food worth working. I'll see you next week.